The Sage and the Pilgrims. Written by Manoj Das. Narrated by Samir Ranjan Das. The village wore a festive look. The landlord was going on a pilgrimage. A number of village elders were to accompany him. They were sure that they would benefit from their visits to holy places. In those days, there were no trains or buses to carry travelers to distant places. They had to walk, ride a bullock cart for a while, or travel by boat when necessary. Pilgrims generally took a long time to reach their destination and return home, months, sometimes a year or more later. It was therefore in the fitness of things that the villagers gave a warm farewell to their landlord and his party. They were happy and proud of them. They would surely bring credit to the whole village. On the outskirts of the village, in a small hut, lived a man alone. He was Tukaram, revered as a sage. The landlord had earlier offered to take the good man along with him. But Tukaram was not willing to go. O sage, I request you once again to give us the benefit of your company. The landlord pleaded with Tukaram on the eve of their departure. I shall see to it that they have all the comforts during the journey. Thank you, but I do not see how much a journey can be useful to me, replied the sage. I am surprised to hear you say so, said the landlord. Do you mean that no benefit will accrue from visiting holy places? The sage merely smiled. The landlord repeated his question. Tukaram said he would answer his question after they all returned. But would you do me a favor? Asked the sage. I want you to carry a small bundle. You must take it into all the temples you visit and dip it in the waters of all the sacred rivers and lakes in which you bathe. The landlord gladly took the bundle and promised to do as desired by the sage. A year passed. The pilgrims returned after a successful tour. They had visited many holy places and bathed in several sacred rivers and lakes. They had also carried the sage's bundle wherever they went. Now they gave it back to the sage. Tukaram arranged a feast in their honor. They all felt flattered and kept repeating, who can appreciate the value of a pilgrimage more than a sage? The pilgrims sat down in a row for partaking to the dishes the sage had prepared. The rice and vegetable had been cooked very well, and the pilgrims were all praised for the items. But Tukaram kept on telling them, just wait for the last item. That should prove particularly delicious. They waited, quite curious. When they had eaten well, Tukaram asked one of his disciples to distribute the much awaited item. It was served to them in small leaf cups. The pilgrims were looking forward to relishing every drop of it, but their lips curled in a disgust and their eyes showed disbelief as soon as they tasted it. What is the matter? Is not it sweet? Asked the sage. Sweet? It is awfully bitter, sir, exclaimed the pilgrims. How? Asked the sage, as if he too was puzzled. How was the item prepared, sir? Asked the landlord. It was, of course, prepared with bitter gourd. but it was the very God which accompanied you in your pilgrimage. It was carried to all the temples you visited and was dipped in all the holy waters. How could I believe that it would remain bitter? I was sure its bitterness had changed into sweetness, observed Tukaram. The pilgrims kept quiet. They were wise enough to understand the message the sage was trying to drive home. A mere visit to holy places does not change one's nature. That is why the sage had refused to accompany them. The pilgrims prostrated in front of the sage before they prepared to leave. I hope the pilgrimage has brought about some change in you, a change for the better, unlike what it has done to the bitter god. For you were conscious human beings, said the sage as he blessed them. The pilgrims tried their best, as long as they could, to show that they had indeed changed. Those who were quarrelsome seemed to be less so. Those who were mean and miserly became a little generous.